everyone. Welcome to Perfecting the Magic, your home for a chic Disney lifestyle. I'm Juliet, and today I'm here with a very special guest. So, Ashleigh has joined us for a chat. You may know her from Instagram or her YouTube channel, her Instagram handle, Making Your Own Magic. And she is absolutely one of my favorite, I'd say, like Star Wars influencers. I don't know if that's a real term or not. Maybe I just made that up. Yeah, for sure. And so today we're going to talk about cosplay, being a Disney nerd, Star Wars geek, and all things when it comes to, kind of geek lifestyle. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
So first, I'd love to chat, about some of your amazing fashion. What I love that you do is I feel like you blend the line sort of between almost cosplay and real world fashion so seamlessly. Is this something you've been doing for like a long time? Do you feel like it evolved over time?
It definitely evolved over time. I really started with like cosplaying. Man, it was really recently, in like 2017, I started cosplaying. And then somebody introduced me to Disney bounding when we went to Disneyland for Dapper Day. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like you can kind of create a character and go to the park, but not be wearing a costume. But there wasn't really like a Star Wars Disney bound kind of thing going on. It was like princesses or main characters from other anime movies. And so Batuu and Galaxy's Edge opened up, and that was like, okay, this is a chance to kind of blend, the costume and the cosplaying that I really enjoy doing and kind of fashion and what I would wear, like kind of like the Dapper Day fashion. And then the Batuu bound kind of came about. And that's when I was like, okay, I think I have a handle on how to do this. And just collecting pieces. I like going to thrift stores and buying secondhand on Poshmark and just taking whatever I find and just making an outfit out of that.
Yeah, and that's what some of my favorite shots and some of my favorite outfits of yours are that, sort of capturing that idea of living inside of the Star Wars universe. I also particularly love how you take maybe some of the less known characters and bring them to light. Like I saw one of your outfits on your Instagram was inspired by a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge comic book, which was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Afra. Oh,
Yeah.
man, she's boss. I love her so much. But like that one, actually, I don't know if you know the story of it. It actually skirted the line a little too close to cosplaying. I actually got called out for it while at the park. But it was great because this person called me out while I was in line to get some food. Now she was just like a person monitoring the line. She wasn't security. We went through security. You have to go through all those passes first.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know who you are. You might be fooling everybody else, but you're not fooling me. This is a costume. And I was like, oh, no. I had a full panic attack, left the line, ran to the bathroom, and just stripped it down. And luckily, Brian, my fiance, we shared the YouTube channel together. He kind of talked me down. We shared our thoughts about it on our Insta stories. Now we have other cast members that also follow our Instagram, and they came and consoled me. It was just so great. Like, I can't say who it was, but some big cast members really came and said, you look great. It was just somebody having a bad day.
Right. So for those of you who don't know, so Disney does have a policy in place where you can't actually come into the park in a costume. Now, I think what's been really interesting as Galaxy's Edge has evolved, that's sort of definitely a thing that's I feel like has come into the spotlight a little bit more because, right, so not only just for folks who are cosplayers, but also for folks who just kind of want to come and wear your Jedi robes into the parks. Even that is not technically allowed. But of course, that line gets kind of blurry very quickly.
Yeah. So we have like kind of figured out a little bit the do's and don'ts. It's definitely like you can't wear full length long robes. You can't wear anything that covers your face. You basically can't be a character that they would see in the park. So you can't confuse the guests. So like, Rey is a little bit on the edge because she is a character at the park that you can meet and greet. But they sell the Rey costume there and you can wear it. So it's always like, it's a little bit of a gray area, but they pretty much don't want you confusing other guests and, impersonating somebody that works for the park.
Right. That makes sense. But like I said, for me, what I think is so cool is that, even inside of those looks, you've taken characters that maybe don't get as much spotlight or attention, and brought them to the light. So tell me, how do what's the process that you go through when you think about selecting your characters, or the next outfit you're going to do?
I always love selecting the characters that like nobody has seen before.
Yeah.
Like for example, like Dr. Aphra, I hadn't seen anybody put that together. I've always liked being the ones that people go, "Oh, I know that. I know that person." Because what that does is it kind of helps create a conversation and creates a new friendship with somebody, a stranger. And it kind of, it sparks a social connection, which is the big reason I like cosplaying and the big reason I like dressing up is because, sometimes I've always been very shy. I don't really like talking to people sometimes. So wearing the costume kind of gives me something to talk about and gives me a connection to that other person. So when you pick those characters that not everybody knows, you're going to have a special conversation with somebody. So some of the other characters that nobody really notices that I used to cosplay a lot was like Alice from Resident Evil, from like the original, those early movies. That one was a big fan hit. Tinkerbell from Hook has always been a big one that's been really popular. When people notice it, they go, "Oh, I know who you are. Let me talk to you about my childhood here." So that's kind of why I go about picking those characters.
And from what I understand is that cosplay has definitely led to some very meaningful connections in your life, for
Yep.
you meeting your significant other, right? Can you tell us that story?
Oh my gosh, yes. So, I just started cosplaying, and the cosplay community is kind of a tight knit community, especially in Los Angeles. So everybody kind of knows everybody, and the word had spread that there was a Star Wars bar opening up in Hollywood, and that was like everybody wanted to go. That was like a special pop up event, and everybody could wear their costumes there. Like they encourage you to cosplay. So of course, all the cosplayers were meeting there. I went with a friend, and I walk in, and there's like my favorite character from Star Wars, full in person. It was Han Solo. And I was like, and he looks cool. He's like in the seat. He's got his boot up. Like I was like, are you kidding me? Now I hadn't met him before. I was still new to the community, so I really wanted to meet him. I was like out trying to date and meet people, but I was so nervous. So I had a couple blue milks and I made my way over, asked them if we could take a picture together. I had an overnight Jin Urso cosplay I had just like thrown together, and this guy's like full on from the movie. I'm like, "Do you mind if we take a picture together?" And so I got his Instagram so I could tag him, and then we found out we had mutual friends, and we met up at Comic-Con and we chatted and we talked, and it blew up from there. We just couldn't spend time away from each other after that.
I have to say that I think the entire internet, or at least the Disney internet, definitely thinks you guys are like hashtag couple goals, is what I would say, because your photos together are so adorable. I try to get my boyfriend to dress up with me, and any kind of fashion. It doesn't look. We don't really get to that level.
Well, I mean, I got lucky where Brian he's been cosplaying a lot longer than I have. And the big part of like cosplaying is honestly getting that photo. That's usually like people's number one goal when they go to a cosplay convention is, where am I going to get my picture of all this hard work? And photographers that go to the conventions are really good about kind of posing you, telling you what looks good, turn your head this way, look at the light, do this. So he came in with lots of photogenic experience. So that worked out.
Do you have any tips for folks who are just starting out or new to cosplaying, or maybe feeling a little bit shy about dressing up for, going out even to the parks?
Oh my gosh. Just the big thing is find a friend. I'd say find a friend and just start. Even if it's something small. Even if you have something that kind of like a bag, or, a top, you start there, because what happens is people are going to recognize it. You're going to, again, have that conversation. You're going to get that social reinforcement, and you're going to go, I could do more. I could do more. And then you're going to come back and add a little bit more and a little bit more. So it's really like just starting, you know?
Yeah, I think it takes sometimes a bit of bravery. I've dabbled a bit in doing some Disney bounds, and sometimes when you step out into the park, you're going to get a lot of eyes. And you got to be prepared for that too, I think.
Yep. Yep. I know. I think I had that recently. I wore like a Sally dress, and I think it was the first time going to the park since quarantine. And we went to downtown, and I dressed up, and I didn't realize like it had been a while. It had been a while since I had dressed up, and somebody was like, oh, "Sally, Sally," and I was like, "I'm uncomfortable." I quit. Like all that experience just got taken away for a second, and then I had to rebuild that confidence back up.
Can you tell me a bit about your process? You know, you mentioned that you sometimes like thrift items. Do you sew your pieces a lot of the times, or do you rely on finding things across the internet? What is that like for you?
My sewing skills are like bare. I have barely any sewing skills. Like Brian knows how to sew way more than I have. He's been working on teaching me. So the majority of what I get is just secondhand. I find something that kind of resembles a look, resembles a piece, and I go from there. Sometimes I'll alter things a little bit. Like the vest that I wore for Dr. Afra was a utility vest I bought on Amazon, like for like a crossing guard or something like that. And we just like tacked up the bottom so then it was cropped and added some more paint, dirtied it up, and it was ready to go. So it's a little things.
Yeah, for me that's actually really encouraging, I think, because I feel like in the cosplay community, sometimes there feels like there's a bit of it's difficult to approach. You feel like you have to be a master tier sewer to get
Yes.
together these outfits. And the internet's only made it more intimidating by seeing these fantastic handmade creations. So I love the idea of, you know what, you don't need to be a sewing whiz. All it takes is, just eyeing the right pieces and a little bit of ingenuity.
Yeah, when I started, I had wanted to cosplay for about 2 years. Like that Heroes of Cosplay show came out, and I was like, I want to do this, but I have zero sewing skills. I don't know how to make props. So I just kind of found a character that I really liked, and I was like, okay, I can invest my time and heart and energy into this. And then I was also able to seek out other creators on Etsy. So there are a lot of people who love making cosplays, for a living. So there is no shame in having somebody else help you with your costume, because that is part of their job. That is what their income is relying on that. And you get to learn along the way. So I would have like lots of questions for some of the people that would help create my costumes. I have some great friends I've met in the cosplay community who work on my cosplays. So yeah, there is no shame in not having those skills.
So the other half of the skill set you mentioned, photography being really key. Was that a learning process for you as well? Tell us a little bit about, how do you approach getting, some of your photos look like they're literally straight out of a movie set. So how do you do that?
Okay, yeah, 100%. That has been built up over the years, that skill set. Luckily, I do also have Brian, who he creates movie posters for a living. That is his job. Like the one right behind me is one that he made. So he's done a lot of big Star Wars posters. So he has an eye for like set design, like kind of like angles and things like that. And then I also have an eye for, where are we putting like some of the props and some of the pieces, and what are we going to pull in? And then what is the overlay like look going to be? So it's kind of like a teamwork for our photos. I do actually, surprisingly, even though he's the movie poster editor, I do all the editing, and I do it all on my phone. Pretty much almost 100% of my photos on Instagram are done with my iPhone and edited within my iPhone. So I use like Lightroom for a lot of editing.
Wow, I would have thought that you were packing some serious camera setup. Like, and this is really cool. The fact that actually you can get to such a high quality just with a cell phone camera.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, luckily with these like newer ones, it's a lot easier getting that like nice portrait mode and the depth of field. But yeah, that almost all of them are done with my phone.
Hmm. Do you have any favorite photos or looks that you've captured of the last couple of years?
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite one has been we did like a galactic gala kind of photo. So there was like a stay-at-home event going on through another Instagram I follow, Star Wars Instagram, called the Galactic Coven. And they're like, can you guys like dress up, do something fancy? So we did a whole like Canto Bite look. and we set up like our little sabacc table at our dining room table, and we had our cards and like all of our credits out, and I threw in like a Coca-Cola bottle from Galaxy's Edge, you know, and like we put in other little Easter eggs in there from other fandoms, and you know, got the gown, and I just found like a thrift store gown again, put the strap on the other shoulder so it just looked weird and off world, you know. And that's been like my favorite photo that we put together.
Yeah, I love that picture actually. And the Galactic Oven, I had the chance to chat with Catherine on the channel actually right before that event. And that was actually the first time I've ever tried to do really, I think, any kind of like Star Wars type bound. And so it was that was really fun, really creative. Ended up going outside in my like local neighborhood park and finding like a metal rusted door to shoot in front of. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but so we are good friends with the Galactic Coven here, and love that photograph as well. So I've got to ask, I'd be remiss to not ask, where did the Star Wars fandom start for you?
Well, I was introduced to it when I think it was my third grade teacher. So this was a long time ago, a time far, far away. And he recognized me. He said like I was very like Princess Leia to him. He would always like kind of compare me to her, and I was look at him like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Like I had no idea what Star Wars was, like, you know. And so he showed me an episode, like a clip from A New Hope, you know. And I was like, okay, she's pretty cool. But then that was like it, you know, that was all I had of Star Wars. Now, the real fandom I know started from Disneyland and going on Star Tours. Now, that was like my number one favorite ride ever. But I didn't quite put like the movies with the ride. It was just so weird. I had like this memory of watching A New Hope and like loving this ride. So it started developing over time, you know, once you got to actually like rent the movies and you got to, you know, they would show them on TV. It took a few years to get to that point, but then that's when I started becoming hooked.
Wow, that is not. I thought you were going to tell me you started out with like novels, deep in comic books.
Nope, it was the ride. It was Disneyland.
Absolutely. Star Tours mega fandom over here as well. But then, you know, Batuu like came out and was, you know, I have to hear, what was it like the first time you stepped foot into Batuu for you?
I cried. Like it was really, I mean, like we had been hyped for so long. It was just that we were so ready, and it was such a struggle to get those first reservations. And we had the hotel stay that we had to get in order to go. And we're like, hey, this is gonna, it was like, we were so like worried about being let down, you know, for all that effort. But we walked in and we were like, this is it. This was all worth it, you know? And that was that emotional release. Like, we're here, we're in Star Wars. And yeah, I remember just seeing like the people like waving and saying bright suns. And I'm like, what does that even mean? I love it. And just, we had like that 4-hour window, and we stayed way past that 4-hour window. Like, we couldn't leave. Like we just we took our time going through the entire park and just kind of like just analyzing every little bit of it. And it was just the best day ever.
Yeah, I feel like Batuu for our true Star Wars fans was such a moment that we didn't even know we needed in our lives, right? And you walk in and just realizing that you are literally inside the experience. And for me, it was almost jarring leaving the land to be back in Disneyland after that. Because, you know, Disneyland, another place I came to know and love, but the level of immersion and details in Batuu was just so mind blowing compared to the rest of the park, right?
Right.
Yeah. I had a similar experience where I had a reservation. I immediately went and booked a hotel for the next night so I could come back.
Oh my gosh. Smart. Very smart.
Yeah. So I know we spent a lot of time talking about Star Wars, but you also do a lot of other fantastic looks as well. Most recently, I saw on your Instagram page, I loved this like really beautiful fairy godmother outfit that you did. So tell me a bit about it.
Oh, that one. Okay, so that was for an event that they hold in Los Angeles, and it's called Labyrinth. Let's see, Labyrinth Jareth Masquerade Ball. It's got this long name, but it's basically the Labyrinth Ball is what we refer to it as. And you can go there, and it is a ball for fantasy looks. So people come in like, either their own created characters or full cosplay. You're going to see, things from Disney animated movies to, people really do wear outfits from the Labyrinth, Lord of the Rings, just like any single thing. I saw like a great Sailor Moon look. It's really like about the fantasy. So Brian had this amazing Peter Pan Hook, like Peter Pan from Hook cosplay he had put together. So this was the Tinkerbell to kind of match with that in the movie Hook. She gets that ball gown and she goes, "You like my dress?" It's another like little subtle character that not many people know, but when they know it, they know it. So that was what I worked on and put together to kind of like, again, keep up with this great cosplay. I put that together. That was probably the most I had ever sewn was that dress.
Oh, it came out looking so fabulous. And I love just like the framing of the picture too. It truly looks like you're in this magical place as well. So yes, I think it came out great.
Thank you. I love that outfit. That one, I only got to wear it the one time. It's one of those, and it's in my closet waiting to be worn again.
Well, hopefully we'll be getting back to balls relatively soon, maybe 2021,
gosh.
right?
I hope so. 2021 balls. Let's do it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel, because you host your own YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, so we have a channel called Always Believe. Our channel originally started out as just, showing what we were up to. We were going to so many events. We were going to Disneyland events all the time, cosplay events a lot. So we're like, well, people were already coming up to us and literally saying, couples goals, we love you, just from our Instagram. And it was our own personal Instagram. So people already knew kind of who we were. And we're like, well, people are seeking us out at these conventions. Let's just do a YouTube channel and share this with other people. And then, of course, Galaxy's Edge opened up, and then we couldn't not film every day we were there. We basically lived there. But it's kind of morphed into a geeky lifestyle vlog where we're just a couple and we're getting married and we're starting a life together, and we're just showing that you don't have to grow up. You can grow up and you don't have to forget how to play. You don't have to forget the things that make you happy and the things that you love. And that's really just like what we push for on our channel.
All right, I've got 3 questions. We need you to rapid fire answer them to close out our day today. Okay. So no thinking about it. That's the goal here. Okay.
Oh, darn.
Okay, ready? So just answer as quick as you can. Favorite Star Wars character?
Han Solo.
Favorite Star Wars movie?
A New Hope.
Favorite Galaxy's Edge food?
Ronto wraps.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Disneyland.
Oh, all right.
I did those pretty quickly. I'm impressed.
You did good. Well, I want to thank you so much for chatting with us today. We're going to link all of Ashleigh's information down below for both the YouTube channel and the Instagram channel as well. Follow her. Her stuff is amazing. Aspirational. #goals for sure. So thank you again for coming on today.
Thank you so much. This was great. I love talking to you.
It was great chatting with you. I am Juliet signing off for now. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you're not, and we will see more fantastic creators like Ashleigh and more, and a whole lot more for your chic Disney lifestyle here on Perfecting the Magic.